Guys, Girl Got Game, and we're back to playing Always Remember Me. And this time we're gonna do Eddy's route. So, I've got my notes from TKSI this time on how I can get that poem. So, that's quite a ways away still, but I will be working towards getting that poem. In the meantime, I'm looking forward to doing Eddy. Because he's kind of cute. But anyway, let's do the quick intro this time, since we've already seen the standard one. I was attending my first year of college for creative writing when it happened. I'd always loved to write poetry and prose, so the class was a natural fit. I had to take a part-time job during the summer to pay for my studies, though. I was so happy with Aaron. He was my boyfriend. But one day, after a date on the beach, we had an accident while driving back home on his motorcycle. I didn't get hurt, but Aaron hit his head trying to protect me from the crash, and is now suffering from short-term amnesia. He doesn't remember me at all. Aw, Eddy! In the hospital, I met Eddy, a young doctor who took pity on us, and promised to follow this case personally. He said I can visit his office at any time if I have any questions. I will do that. Eddy said that I should try to make Aaron regain his memory, but at a very slow pace, without hurrying things. This means pretending that I'm only his friend unless he remembers me. No, it's a very tough time in my life. It's really awkward to see Aaron not recognize me at all. This accident seems like a test. I'm now going to find out if Aaron was supposed to be the man of my life, or not. I was released from the hospital in the morning and came right home. When I walked inside, I was greeted with a soft meow when my cat Nina brushed up against my leg. Meow! Hi, Nina. Did you miss me? I smiled and reached down to pet her affectionately, though I couldn't help but remember how Aaron would always fuss over her. Oh, Aaron. Nina was a great judge of character, and she adored Aaron, even before he started bringing treats for her all the time. Aaron always loved cats so much. He loved big cats and little cats like you, and little kitties like the ones you had in his route. But you're still always his favorite kitty. Aww. Nina cuddled my fingers affectionately when I knelt down to pick her up. But Aaron has probably forgotten about you, too. The sadness I had been trying to keep out of the front of my mind returned as I pulled my cat into an embrace and sighed. I had slept very poorly, and the fatigue from the crash hadn't worn off. I lost my parents in a car accident, and now it looks like I'm going to lose the man I loved to one as well. Oh. I sat in the living room with Nina on my lap when Gwenda came in to comfort me. Oh, Amy! What happened? I briefly tell her about the accident. She was overjoyed to know that I was all right, and that I had hardly been hurt. Oh, thank God you're okay! But why didn't you call me? The doctor said I was all right, and I didn't want you to worry about me. I had been staying with my Aunt Gwenda for several years. Since my parents passed away when I was still young, Gwenda had taken care of me ever since. She is a kind woman, and I greatly appreciated how caring she had always been to me. However, her pension wasn't enough to fully pay for my college tuition, which is why I took the part-time job at the ice cream parlor. You can now make your first choice. Okay. Yes, I get it. Yep. Okay. I'll talk with Gwenda, because she really helped my morale last time. Yes, my dear? What's troubling you? Aaron doesn't remember me at all. And the doctors say they don't want to give him too much stress since it might make him forget more, or make it harder for him to remember what he has forgotten. Honey, I'm sure he'll remember you soon enough. You're the love of his life. The two of you were so close, the cutest little lovebirds in town. It's just these past few years that he's forgotten, though. What if he doesn't recover? Then you'll just make him love you again. Really? You think that would work? I'm so afraid that we might never be together again. We have so many precious memories, and to think that he doesn't remember any of them. I couldn't help but shudder at the thought. You'll be able to do it. In the absolute worst case scenario, you'll just have to start off from square one again. Even if his mind doesn't recall the memories you two share, his heart will still love you. Not even amnesia can erase that. You're right. Thank you, Auntie. I feel a bit better now. Of course, that's what family is for.
That was easy.
After talking with Gwenda, I feel better. Sometimes you just need to open up with someone who cares about you. I'll watch some TV.
Yeah!
I played with Nina and then rested on the couch, and then I fell asleep for hours, which is probably just what I needed after not sleeping well after the car crash. Amy, I prepared your favorite cake. Thanks, Gwenda, but I'd like to stay alone for a while and rest, okay? I didn't sleep very well at the hospital. I had too much on my mind. That's fine. Get some rest. You can eat a piece of cake tomorrow morning before going to work. Good night, Gwenda. I went to my bedroom with Nina in my arms and sat down at the desk. I picked a notebook up and decided to try and get my feelings under control in the most familiar way I knew, writing about them. I picked up a pen and started writing a poem. Okay, we don't need to read this poem again. Erin, you had your day, and now it's over. Bye. Okay. When I woke that morning, I knew that I had to go to the ice cream parlor. It was Sunday, and I had a long shift to attend to. I considered calling out, knowing that they would understand if I explained the situation, but decided that it would be best to go in anyway. Otherwise, everyone would start to worry about me. I had no doubt that news of the accident was already traveling quickly. Gossip seemed to get around in town eerily fast. I feel a sneeze. Oh. Is that it? Oh, okay. I think I'm good. Sorry about that. I got ready and arrived at the shop 15 minutes before the start of my shift. I hadn't wanted to dwell at home, though as soon as I walked in I knew I was too early. It was still early morning and there were only a few customers around. I was surprised to catch sight of a familiar face seated at one of the tables, apparently taking a break from work.
Hey, Amy. Are you alright?
I couldn't help but notice the genuine worry on his expression when he saw the bruises on my arms and legs. I appreciated his concern. Good morning, Lawrence. I'm doing okay.
Are you sure? Those bruises look really painful.
Yes, I'm sure. They really aren't as bad as they look.
Really? I don't know if I could work with bruises that big. You're a strong woman.
I can hardly feel them. Thanks, though.
How did it happen? You aren't in any trouble, are you?
I did this last time, which was a good thing. Since I'm doing Eddy, maybe I'll do this just to see what it does. It really isn't a big deal.
But you're hurt. What happened?
I'd rather not talk about it.
But Amy, can't you at least tell me? I'm getting worried about you. How did you get hurt so badly?
I'm sorry, but my shift is starting soon.
Please, I have to know. If someone did this to you...
Oh, I didn't even think about that. No one did anything to me. It's not like that.
Then why...
It isn't any of your business. I'm sorry, but I have to go clock in now. Ooh. That music! Okay, so that's the music sound it makes when I do it badly. Without another word, I left him waiting at the table with an ice cream cone now melting in his hand. I'm sorry, Lawrence. I'm sorry. Oh, dear. I feel terrible about that. Okay, never doing that again to Lawrence. Oh, I failed. See? This is karma, getting me back. You are mean to poor Lawrence, and now you're gonna get no money. I still feel weak. It'll be better if I get back home now. I don't think they would allow me to see Erin yet anyway. Well, it's okay, because we don't really want to see Erin. When I got home after work, I found the house empty except for my cat Nina. Nina and I went up to my room and I turned the computer on to check my email, mostly to see if there was any news from Aaron's family or the hospital. I knew it was rather unlikely to have more correspondence from them so soon, but couldn't help but hold on to the hope there would be something new. I sat down at my desk and looked around my inbox, scanning the titles and senders of the new and unread messages. I frowned when I saw there was nothing new from Eddy or anyone else from the hospital crew. Nothing good. Too bad. I decided to do some research on amnesia. It took a while before I found anything interesting, but after a bit of searching around I found the following explanations about the basics of amnesia. Amnesia is a condition in which memory is disturbed or lost completely. People can forget about things they did, or they will simply fail to remember the things they are currently doing in the near future. I kept reading, but only got confused from the more complicated medical terms. I was distracted from my reading when a small notification box saying I had a new email popped up. Oh, it's that guy, secret admirer. I clicked it a bit absent-mindedly since the address was unknown. Maybe I shouldn't open it. It could be a virus or spam. Nina hopped up onto the desk and meowed rather loudly. Meow! Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to see what it is. Right, Nina? I opened the email, eyeing the unknown address warily. The message was simple and written in plain black text. Hey there, Amy. I hear you're quite the poet. I'd love to read more of your work, but you don't really share it with anyone, do you? I'm a big fan and your secret admirer, as the saying goes. Keep writing, girl. I don't know who it is. I'll just ignore it again. I shook my head slightly and clicked back to the inbox, deciding to ignore the unusual message. I was about to check my book review blog when the computer shut down. I tried to restart it several times, but nothing happened. My computer just had to break at a time like this. For a moment I thought it might have been a virus from that mysterious email, but then realized that was silly. The computer wouldn't even turn on, so the failure was clearly in the hardware. Nina, still sitting on my desk, gave me a puzzled look. Great, now I won't be able to check my email or blog from home anymore.
Oh no.
Oh no, my computer broke. Why is all this stuff happening at once? My morale's so low. Well, time to go to sleep. Hopefully I have a good night's sleep. Sorry, Lawrence.
Who's awesome? I'm awesome.
Oh, that's good. Ish. Well, time to go to work.
That was easy.
Oh, I succeeded. I can't believe it. Woohoo! I want to go to the hospital today. I want to see Aaron. I miss him. I know. Seems like not that long ago you guys were so cute together. He remembered you, but that's all gone now. I went to the hospital to go visit Aaron, but as soon as I entered his room, I had the feeling the visit wasn't going to go very well. Good morning, Aaron. Hi. How are you feeling today? A little better, thanks. He smiled at me politely, but without any of the tenderness I was used to seeing. An awkward silence settled in as I sat down at the chair beside his bed. Lacking any other ideas to really get the conversation going, I decided to start with something simple. I didn't want to pressure him with anything that the medics wouldn't approve of me discussing with them. How's the hospital food around here? Is it okay? It's pretty good. Definitely better than I can cook. I'm glad you like it, but I'm sure you're not that bad of a cook. You've never had my cooking, then? I went to say that I had, but quickly restrained. He wasn't a very good cook, but it made it more fun when he came to the ice cream parlor, or when I cooked for him. By the way, I was wondering. Yes? Who are you? The question was so simple, so polite, so impersonal, but it still broke my heart. I will do this eventually, but I don't think I should do it when I'm trying to impress Eddy the doctor. When he was like, don't rush his memories. I will just tell him I'm a friend. His words hurt, and I was certain my eyes betrayed a degree of sadness. I covered it up with a smile, hoping he didn't notice the momentary change. Oh, I'm a friend of yours. My name is Amy. Okay. I'm sorry, it's just that my memory is really hazy. It's okay, I understand. Don't strain yourself. He returned my smile with a nod. You're a very nice girl, Amy. Yay, I don't care about my relationship change with you. Thank you! Now, if you excuse me, I'm getting tired. I better get some sleep. Sure, I'll come visit you again soon. I'm on my own! Woohoo! Will you manage to reunite with Aaron, or will you fall in love with someone else? It's up to you. It's all up to me. Sunset. Okay, Eddy likes discipline. Perhaps I'll go to the library then. I should get a gym membership too. As soon as I can. Alright. The library is my favorite place to be. Here I can borrow new books to read at home, practice my writing skills, or during the weekends I can attend creative writing courses in the evening. I can also use the library's computers to access the internet and update my personal blog, where I review books or check my email. New books arrive every Monday and Friday, so I must make sure to come here on those days if I want to have the chance to get new books. Okay. Well, we'll update our blog. Cool, I got lots of views and comments on this book review I made last week. I'm very satisfied. Ooh, gave me a big morale boost, just what I needed. Well, time to go home. I didn't get any discipline. That's a shame. Oh well.
Yes!
Yay, I slept well. Thank you, Nina. I was getting ready to leave for the ice cream shop when the phone rang. Hello?
Miss Fitch?
Oh, yes, I'm Amarantha. You are Eddy?
Yes, I need to talk with you about Aaron.
Is everything all right?
Yes, don't worry, everything is okay. I heard you paid him a visit yesterday, and I'd like to talk to you about some things.
This is why I didn't choose that other option. We agreed to meet in his office in the afternoon, after my shift at the ice cream shop ended. Well, time to go do that, I guess.
This must be an office.
No.
I wasn't expecting this.
I'm so distracted. I quickly change clothes and I get ready to go to the hospital to talk with Eddy. I wonder what he wants to talk about. I couldn't guess. Nope. As soon as I entered the hospital, I met with Eddy. He nodded at me and made a gesture to follow him into his office. I took a deep breath, vaguely registering the sound of our footsteps tapping their way through the corridor. Eddy led me to his office, and I distantly noticed his occasional glances, but was too absorbed in my own frantic thoughts to care. We stepped through the door, and he quietly closed it behind me. I mean, he. Did I say we? He.
Please, have a seat.
I sunk into a cushioned chair in front of the desk and watched him hopefully. Tell me how you can get better.
Well, you have to understand that this condition is somewhat difficult to treat. We'll of course be encouraging his memory to return by talking to his family and friends, putting him in situations of previous memories, things like that. The therapist can tell you more about exactly what they'll be doing. There's also the possibility of prescribing him certain medicines, but we only keep that option open for extreme cases. I nodded, hanging on to his every word. The key is that he regains his memory slowly and carefully. This sort of psychology is not my specialty, but we have to be careful of any psychological stress. Amnesia is tricky to begin with. We can't risk any more complications by trying to force him to remember. My heart sank. So what you're saying is, he won't be remembering me anytime soon. He looked at me kindly. Probably not, but there is a way you can help. How? Tell me, I'll do anything. Well, you know him very well. It would be a great help if you could think of situations that might help him regain some memories, situations from his past. Places he's been, activities he likes, things like that. I nodded my head slowly, trying to reconcile myself to all the unbelievable things that had happened recently. Well, as we learned, crying is the way to go. Blubber your little heart out, Amy. Oh. But the truth was difficult to accept, and as full, awful realization sank in, my tired mind and body could bear it no longer. Tears formed unwittingly at the corners of my eyes, and they dripped down my face in rivulets.
My shoulders began to shake, and I covered my face with my hands, trying desperately to muffle the sounds of lamentation. Oh, Eddy. Eddy hovered awkwardly, uncomfortable, and at a near total loss of what to do. Pulling himself together, he walked forward and knelt on the ground in front of me and rested his hands on my shoulders. Miss Amarantha. Call me Amy. Amy, it'll be all right. It's not that bad. Do you really think so? I know so. It's very encouraging that he didn't lose his entire memory, only that of the last few years. And even if it doesn't come back, you can always make new memories. I nodded at his words and smiled, wiping away tears. Alright, needless to say, it went up. Thank you, Eddy. Now excuse me, Miss Amy, but I have to go. Of course. I guess I'll try updating my blog again. Or maybe I'll practice writing today.
Awesome!
Yeah, I got creativity. Creativity is what I want for the poem. Feel another sneeze coming. Go away, sneeze. Oh, I think I'm gonna be okay. Oh.
Yeah!
Yay! The next morning, I decided to follow Eddy's suggestions. I grabbed a book from my library, the first book of the Pendragon series by D.J. McHale. Aaron loved it. I'm going to bring this with me at the hospital next time. I need to hurry. Oh. I had just started my shift when I heard a familiar voice. Amy? I looked up from the change in the cash register that I was counting to meet his gaze. Yes? I heard about what happened. Oh, sorry, I'm doing Eddy's voice. Ahem. I heard about what happened. I'm sorry for sounding so inconsiderate. Oh, it's alright. You didn't know. Lawrence looked away, unable to continue looking me in the eye. He was always rather shy, and it surprised me that he came forward to apologize in person. He often resorted to text messages since he was more comfortable with it. You know, I'll always be here. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'd be glad to listen. After all, we're friends, right? Right. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate that. Oh. Well, that didn't turn out too badly.
Awesome!
Well, I quickly changed clothes, eager to give the book to Aaron to see if he remembers it. When I arrived at the hospital, I was surprised when the receptionist said there was already someone visiting Aaron. Here we go. At first, I was glad to hear that, since it probably meant one of his friends had come to drop in for a visit. Even if it was just one of his friends from school, talking to people he used to know would probably help him with his memory. However, when I entered the room, what I found was anything but pleasant. I stopped in the doorway and stared for a moment, my eyes widening as my heart went cold. No clear thoughts passed through my mind, and I couldn't seem to bring myself to take even one step closer. Abigail, Aaron's ex-girlfriend, was seated beside him. She wore a smile that was so obviously fake, it almost made me sick to see it. I knew all too well why they broke up, quite a while before we got together. She was a manipulative girl who never really loved him. The idea that the lapse in his memory would make him think that she was his real girlfriend. I found myself shuddering at the thought. Oh, Amy, good morning. It's sunset, dude. But sure, good morning. Huh? Who are you? I didn't reply, simply staring at the reality of the situation sank in. Abigail knew perfectly well who I was. She was just acting. She's a friend of mine. She came here to visit me yesterday. Oh, I say. Don't you know who I am, Abigail? Well, I don't think I'd remember someone as ordinary looking as you. I will do this one day, but for Eddy's sake and Aaron's sake, I'm going to ignore that comment. I see. Well, anyway, I brought a book for you, Aaron. Oh, really? Yeah, it was one of your favorites. It's the first book of the Pendragon series by D.J. McHale. That sounds really familiar. Isn't that a children's book? I pulled the softcover book out of my purse as I walked over to sit down in the chair on the other side of his bed. Technically, it's young adult, I'll have you know. Oh, was the main character's name Bobby? I smiled as I handed him the book, and a look of recognition came over his face. That's right. We would always pre-order the new books as they came out of the bookstore. They were such fun to read. I remember this. I got into it a long time ago. I was so young, but they were too fun to read to grow out of. Right. Well, I think I've heard of it once, too. Thanks for bringing this, Amy. I really like this book. You can keep it if you want. Yay. Really? Are you sure? Yeah. If you like, I could read it to you if you don't feel well enough. How about I read it to him? There are quite a few books in the series. How about you each read me one? Aaron smiled cheerfully as he asked the question, and even though Abigail frowned at me for a moment before faking another smile for Aaron, I couldn't help but feel somewhat satisfied with myself. It was a small step, but at least he remembered something that didn't involve Abigail. I don't know what her intentions are, but Abigail is unlikely to get up early in the morning, so I'll only find her in the hospital visiting Aaron in the afternoon or evening. Unfortunately, since I work every morning until noon, that means that I won't have many occasions to see him alone. But that's okay. She can visit Aaron all she wants, because I am going to be visiting Eddy instead. Okay, let's try and update the blog.
Yeah!
Yeah! True discipline, woo! I just finished a big review and posted it online. I'm sure my readers will like it. I'm sure. Well, time to go to sleep. Okay, so far Aaron is beating Eddy, but hopefully that'll change soon.